All right, everybody. Welcome to Get to Know ADOS Columbus. My name is Latoya Dowdell-Berger. We do apologize for being a few minutes behind. Just had some technical difficulties, but we've made it. So ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slavery, and we are ADOS Columbus. So we are happy to have you with us today. And it was founded in 2019 to localize a nationwide push for reparations and things for the Black agenda, the African American community. So we're committed to improving the quality of life of ADOS in the Columbus, Ohio metro area first. So our goal is to work on where we live, right? Um, and while simultaneously supporting ADOS initiatives nationwide. Now, we are engaging our local political office holders and challenging them to adopt policies and action plans that specifically benefit the ADOS in Central Ohio. So now I'm going to go over our agenda for this evening. We're going to have a lovely welcome from Mark Stevenson, who is our president, and Ms. Lisa Todd, our vice president. And then we're going to ask you, are you ADOS? You may ask yourself, am I? And then we're going to talk about the ADOS leadership so you have an idea of our leadership structure, the mission of ADOS Columbus. And then we're going to talk about, and we have some of our lovely team members on the line with us today. You guys, they're amazing. They're already in the community doing great things. So just them being a part of the team further is only going to make what we're doing here in Central Ohio even better. So you'll hear from our ADOS Columbus teams. We'll take some questions at the end, and we have a call to action for you. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mark and Lisa for your welcome. Mark and Lisa.
Hello,
Yeah.
welcome. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Yeah. Well. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to our Meet ADOS um, town hall, or I guess if you want to call it that. Um, we are so excited that you all took time to learn about what we're doing as far as the our organization. Um, some of the things that we're doing in the community, and to kind of, if you've heard rumors, some people may have went online, read some articles about our ideology, our thought process. um, please put your comments in the chat, on the Facebook chat. um, we will get to those. But I want to dispel any rumors about anything that you may have heard negative about us. um, and we're super duper excited for you all to tune in tonight. Like Latoya said, we started this in 2019, May of 2019, and it was to start talking about a Black agenda right here in Central Ohio. We have other chapters throughout the state that we work with on certain types of legislation. We're meeting with these politicians. We are fighting for our community. So if you want to get off the sidelines and you want to get in a fight, we ask that you come join us. And stay tuned. And I look forward to everything else tonight.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa. I'm the Vice President of ADOS Columbus. Been working with Mark since we met one day at Donato's Pizza and said, let's do this. So we're basically a group that's unapologetic about being for the Black community, for the ADOS community. And I just want to welcome you to our Meet ADOS Columbus. I hope that you learn what we're about. I hope that you would be inspired to get involved and start working on what we can do here locally for American descendants of slavery in our community. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Lisa and Mark. So those are our great leaders. They've been doing some great work here. I had the pleasure of meeting them last year as well. And that's how I learned about ADOS Columbus myself. So, and now we come to ADOS. So we talked about already what it means. So ADOS, which stands for American Descendants of Slavery, seeks to reclaim, restore the critical national character of the African American identity and experience. one, grounded in our group's unique lineage, because we're very unique. You know, we have a story, and we all know that. But the one thing that we do know, we rise every time, and which is central to our continuing struggle. We know that we constantly deal with social and economic justice in the United States. So ADOS, we've now identified ourselves. Who are we here in the United States? Not to knock anybody else and their goals. There's nothing wrong with us celebrating who we are, getting resources in place, getting our teams together to make sure we build our community. So we're going to now move forward and talk about our leadership. So as you already heard from our president and our VP, Mark Stevenson is our president. Miss Lisa Todd is our vice president. Our secretary is Miss TJ Gartner. Christy Johnson is our treasurer. The director of operations is myself, Latoya Dowdell-Berger, and Ms. Daoud Gazan is our director of research, which he's amazing, by the way. And we have the lovely Miss Tiffany White as our director of policy, who, if you have not met Miss Tiffany, listen, get your whole life together. She's amazing. So our whole team is amazing in what we're doing, and we're really trying to build a more collective team. So this is why we're out here tonight, just wanting to introduce ourselves to the Central Ohio area and let you know a little bit about who we are. So we're going to move forward and talk about the ADOS Columbus mission. So we want to work with the Columbus City Council to establish a civilian review board to hold police accountable, building trust between police and the ADOS community. So it's interesting right now where we are in time. This has been a vision for ADOS since its inception. So it's great to see that that's picking up now. But since 2019, when Mark and Miss Lisa got together, that was one of the things that they wanted to ensure was in place as a way for us to get things done in Central Ohio. Also assist in the development of policies to increase SBA loans and city contracts for ADOS small businesses. We know you have a couple, we have I think it's COMA, or it's the African American small business group here. So that's another, or Columbus, it's another group. But we also want to ensure we have those dollars on the table, not for anyone who identifies themselves as Black, but actual American descendants of slavery. So that's the difference in what we're trying to do, and ensure that the ADOS workforce representation is based on our percentage of the population, and definitely end discriminatory hiring practices in all industries here in the Central Ohio area. So this is where we are. It starts at home. We can always talk about what needs to be done nationally, but what's really important is what's in your backyard. So if you want to join our efforts to make where you live better, this is definitely an opportunity for you to listen in, invite your friends, ask your questions in the comments. The other part of the mission is for us to end racial-based redlining, poverty devaluation, and gentrification of predominantly Black neighborhoods in Columbus. Now, we know we have seen that, especially on the east side of Columbus already, with some of those changes. So ADOS wants to make sure we work on that to end that gentrification where we can, and work to assist in implementation of affordable housing and rent control legislation for ADOS. And then we've got a couple more things. We want to establish and guaranteed assistance for 40% of the homeless ADOS people in the city. We know our homeless population is quite big. And we want to assist in the establishment of incentives that will increase the hiring of Black teachers for Columbus City Schools and Columbus City Police. I know for myself, I did have a fair amount of African American or ADOS teachers when I grew up, but not as many that were of that. So it's nice that that's another one of our missions. It's important that our district, that the Columbus district represents, the teachers represent who they're serving. And then they're also we want to assist in the election of ADOS endorsed candidates to municipal, city, state, and federal offices. And if you have not met ADOS at early voting, oh, you shall. So last November, they were out there in full force. Not to cause problems or anything, but definitely challenging voters just to really look at who are you voting for? What is your return on investment for your vote? Okay, so if you're interested in that and you want to understand, we're going to be doing some web series later on throughout the year talking about your vote matters and how you can vet your candidates and what you should look for in those things. So it's very important that if you're interested in those things, connect with us. We're going to definitely challenge you to make you think, you can be aligned with any party, but we don't vote down any ticket straight down. You should be looking at that candidate. So that's another thing that they're going to be doing, is endorsing candidates regardless of your political affiliation. And we also seek to reclaim, of course, as I mentioned earlier, restore the critical national character of the African-American identity and experience, one grounded in our group's unique lineage, and which is central to our continuing struggle for social and economic justice in the United States. And like I mentioned, we have already begun that plight already. Some of our 2019 accomplishments, we've sponsored some town hall meetings. I know that ADOS has been at not only their own meetings, but they've supported several other town halls for candidate nights. They've been at those. Voter education, during COVID-19, they partnered with Miss Lisa Freeman Williamson. I think it's Williamson. I believe I got it right. And she, with Weigh the Facts, and they were out during COVID, making sure folks were able to, that they were understood what needs to happen so they could submit their absentee ballot. This was the first year where it was almost everybody was absentee. The primary, the time to vote in Franklin County in March, all that for the state was shut down because of COVID. And our group partnered with another organization to do that. Also, campaigned or supported embedded candidates. They had their own slate card to a certain degree of individuals that definitely supported or were not aligned with anyone that was not going to help the ADOS community. Community outreach efforts, of course, with voter registration. Tonight, we're reaching out to you. And then we have some educational series that you can check out on our YouTube channel that's coming soon. And collaborating with other organizations. So I know Mr. Stevenson's wife, she has her own health company. She's our chair for our health and wellness. So she'll be doing tips. Miss Tiffany comes with a wealth of knowledge coming from I think as a commissioner, if I'm not mistaken, and also running recently for council on several committees with the city of Columbus. Then Miss Kim Mason, who's on board, she has experience with the school board and is very active in the schools within Central Ohio. So we definitely collaborate with other organizations and other individuals. So without further ado, let's meet our teams. And first, we're going to start out with the criminal justice team. And I believe Miss Lisa, are you going to be speaking for Miss TJ, or what do we, I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. I'm going to confirm if you are, if not.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, so Ms. TJ could not join us, but Ms. Lisa, our lovely VP, is going to go ahead and talk about our criminal justice committee, our team. Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
Yes. I am stepping in here for TJ, and she has some very strategic goals that we want to work on in the criminal justice here locally in Columbus. One, of course, is to eliminate racial profiling. Most of the studies of traffic stops, find out that they discover contraband, weapons, and drugs. And among white drivers and among ADOS drivers, of course, we are the ones that are most racially profiled and charged with some type of charge for, driving, and whether that's on a highway or in affluent white neighborhoods. So one of her goals is to eliminate racial profiling. On her team, she will be working on that. All right, next slide. All right. We also would like to, one of our goals is to, during the arraignment and release and pre-adjudicating decision, provide a reasonable and careful review of the charges and evidence presented to the police. A lot of times people are falsely accused of things. We also would like to, if we could, we would like to eliminate the bail system, but the bail amount shouldn't simply reflect the seriousness of the charge. We want equal justice We don't want no justice. We understand that people, commit crimes, but there shouldn't be two different sentences for based on your race. Should not be included in that. We want to bring back pretrial services programs, because not having these services leads to an assumption that money bail should be set. Such assumptions discriminate against low-income individuals who are disproportionately ADOS and other minorities, and result in unnecessarily high rates of detention and incarceration. Another goal of ours on the criminal justice team is to set up and/or have representatives from the Black communities, along with police presence, engaged to consider strategies and alternatives instead of involving the police wholly. I know Latoya mentioned it, because of the recent uprisings, that Columbus is making steps towards that. So we're glad to see that happening. Some more steps, actionable steps we would like: political checks on a national and local level, including contingent federal funding. Defund police is coming up. So we would like a lot of those funds to go towards more community-based type of programming. Civil lawsuits held accountable through civil lawsuits. These lawsuits can be brought against individuals who have deprived an individual of their rights, acting in an official capacity, whether or not their actions are sanctioned by the state or whether or not they are off duty. So we're suggesting that if you're a police officer, that you personally get held accountable through civil lawsuits. Criminal prosecutions hold officers accountable. Criminal lawsuits may be initiated by state prosecutors and hold law enforcement officers accountable under state statutes, because criminal actions by police officers have been highlighted in highly publicized actions in which state attorneys delay charging officers, as we see today in Breonna Taylor's decision to wait and delay whether or not they're going to charge her officers that killed her. So unarmed individuals and continuing unarmed individuals fail to secure indictments after officers have been charged with a crime. So a lot of times we wait on eggshells whether or not officers will be held accountable. We wait on eggshells whether or not during their trial they will be sentenced. So it's always up in the air when it comes to police accountability. And we would like to address each one of those issues.
Thank you, Miss Lisa. So next up, we have our education team who's led by Miss Kim Mason. So Miss Kim Mason, tell us a little bit about the education team.
Thank you, Latoya, and good evening to everyone. Welcome to the ADOS Education Committee. We believe that our education system in Central Ohio should have a curriculum that is culturally relevant and appropriate from preschool unto graduation. We believe that our children should be respected and treated equally regardless their zip code. And as an action committee, we are focused on advocacy, accountability, equity, and community collaborations. We stand for addressing, assessing, and disseminating the school to prison pipeline. In addition, supporting the inclusion and increase of Black teachers across Central Ohio, and educating and empowering youth on the topics of political education and generational wealth. Overall, we know that as the African American community, we know that we have Black and Brown students that are not just in Columbus City schools, but they're around Central Ohio and other different school districts. So we want to make sure that collectively, we are not only just trying to serve the inner city and the urban youth, but all of our students that could be affected by the negligence that's going on in school districts. Thanks, Latoya.
You're welcome. Thank you. So that is our education team and criminal justice team already doing great work. Next, we have health and wellness that is led by Ms. Marlene Stevenson, who is the wife of our lovely president. And I believe Mr. Mark is going to discuss a little bit of about health and wellness on her behalf this evening. So Mr. Mark?
Yes. So, there's an old saying that says health is wealth, right? And for many ADOS people, we deal with high rates of obesity. We have what Dr. Joy DeGruy considered, which is post-traumatic slave syndrome, which is the byproduct of the environments in which we've been subjected to. Um, with this, the health and wellness team is going to be doing health fairs. We want to be participating in health fairs, partnering with other organizations that are doing these things, so that way we could ensure that the ADOS community is getting, information and resources on healthy eating, general wellness, injury, stress reduction, sleep, physical activity. And we also want to make sure that even in the education system, that our kids are learning, proper ways to eat. And if there's resources out there for kids that grew up in traditionally ADOS communities and traditional poverty, we want them to be able to make sure that they get resources. We want to partner with people who are doing urban gardening, because we know a lot of the communities that majority of our people live in are food deserts. So we want to be able to get them these resources, and also help them with trying to get resources for mental and behavioral health programs, because we know that that is also a one of the, um, I guess you want to say, prereqs, or one of the preconditions for the school to prison pipeline. Our kids are getting they're getting disciplined a lot more than their white counterparts. So we want to make sure that they're getting the proper resources for mental and behavioral health programs too, as well as mental health. So that is the health and wellness team. So they're going to be doing podcasts and health fairs coming up soon. And if you are someone who wants to be involved with, getting being on that team, reach out to us, reach out to Marlene, and um, and get involved. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mark. So next we have our housing team, which is led by none other than the Miss Tiffany White. So Miss Tiffany, if you could tell us a little bit about housing this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Latoya, and thank ADOS for giving me this opportunity to be your housing chair. I think that it's really important that for African descendants of slavery to own property to build generational wealth. And the only way to do that is through education. We want to make sure that the African American population is not just housed, but housed safely, and they can sustain that housing that they have. Rents in Columbus are unreasonable. We need to reel that in a little bit, actually a lot. But I think promoting home ownership is the ultimate goal here. Education about redlining so that people understand the process of every state in this country has had pockets of African Americans, and that was done by design. And then when our property or where they've placed us has become economically pleasing for a developer or an investor, then we have the gentrification. So understanding that process, making sure that we have some type of hotline or process in place where we will not be forced out of our homes, but that you can have someone that can guide and educate you in the negotiating process if you do truly want to sell, but also make sure that we have resources for you when code has cited you for a violation and you just don't have the funds available to fix up your home. Our seniors are being targeted at a high rate, and we just want to make sure that if they want to stay in place, that we put everything in line for them to do so. We want to engage our lawmakers to take a look at the devaluation of our properties over the decades. There'll be another evaluation of properties in Franklin County here next year, I believe. And with some of the gentrification that has occurred, some properties that were maybe $30,000 or $40,000, the last review, can be up to $100,000 in value. So that's going to put a burden on mostly our seniors, but individuals who are homeowners that may not have the means to pay those property taxes. Also educating individuals about land trust and what that actually means for you and your home. That's a very important piece of it. We also need to make sure that financial institutions are not excluding us from becoming homeowners. I think with the PPP and all of the CARES money that has been out there, it has become increasingly obvious that financial institutions have chosen not to fund minority businesses, especially Black businesses. And we have to call for a change. It's not just in policing, but also in housing, education, healthcare. We need to do it across the board. And if we don't have legislators in place, judges that are fair, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to have this conversation again when there's another George Floyd.
All right, thank you, Miss Tiffany.
Thank you.
So our next team that we have is our news and information. And Mr. Daoud, if you do not mind sharing our information about sharing information about the news and information team.
Peace and good evening, everyone. I am Daoud G. Azan, Opposition Research, PR News, and Information Director for the ADOS Columbus chapter. We are blessed with a marvelous and talented team consisting so far of Lisa Todd, the ADOS Columbus chapter vice president, and also, as you can see this evening, she's not a Jack, but a Lisa of all trades. And then we also have Jared Ray, who's joined our team recently and has shown himself to be a fantastic researcher, and I must say also very timely. American descendants of slavery and our society as a whole is absolutely inundated by white domination racist media, manipulated information, disinformation, and misinformation systems. News important to ADOS community is oftentimes not shared or reported. Our news and information team is dedicated to keeping our community abreast to what is going on locally and nationally. We are also here to ensure the community is aware of the many services, tasks, and events that ADOS Columbus is providing our local area. Our news and information goals are to, number one, find, share, and inform the ADOS Columbus members and local community of news important to our lives that is either not discussed or it has removed ADOS needs and interest from the conversation. Number two, dominate the messaging related to ADOS Columbus chapter's efforts in the city of Columbus and state. Number three, we will develop and distribute our news and information letter. This will launch after our first organized training session, which will be July 16th. Number four, promote our initiatives and candidates through online marketing campaigns that will be used to circulate and publicize our initiatives, candidates, upcoming events, and the coverage of such events and activities from our perspective, which will be made available to members, news services, and the public. Our team recently co-created the content and then circulated ADOS Columbus chapter's response to the Columbus Dispatch's announcement of, quote, Black leaders Betty Harden call for independent police review. Our media post, which also worked as a capture page for those potentially interested in being members or contributing to our cause, is located here. I've just now placed it in our group chat. We were successful in capturing 2 individuals by utilizing this method in less than a week. They are expressed an interest in what we're doing, and we're hoping to capture more people who are interested in being a part of our cause. Number 5, we will develop, distribute through our newsletter, and implement periodic group trainings on managing and disseminating our ADOS Columbus talking points and perspectives on critical issues, as well as trainings on activism and leadership. ADOS Columbus News and Information's first training is entitled Talking Points and Propaganda. Again, it will be on July 16th at 8 p.m. on Zoom. Please seek out more information on this training at our team training area at the ADOS Columbus site for more details. My personal plans for our team is to be the best group team members among all ADOS chapters nationwide. Our message and effectiveness in asserting our narratives I see as critical to our collective success. If you know and feel the same and desire to be a part of the best news and information team among all ADOS chapters, or if you know someone who is, we welcome you. Please, please get involved. I'm done.
Well, thank you. Yes. So if you are interested in news and information, we do, or any of the teams for ADOS Columbus, we will have a call to action towards the end, and we're almost done. We're only about 30 minutes in. We started a few minutes late. Tonight, I'm going to be covering the political action and our recruitment and retention team as well. So our political action, we will inform our members on the new deal for Black America and facilitate their ability to discern policy prescriptions that move us toward or away from our goals to seek reparations for ADOS Columbus. We will also have the ability to engage in conversations which will enlighten and expand the general public's understanding of the reparations debate, thereby garnering support and allies for our righteous cause. And our team member for that is Miss Lisa Freeman Williamson. You all may be familiar with her. She hosts a couple candidate nights, and she has the forum entitled Weigh the Facts. So we're really excited that she also came on to be not just a member, but to be a team member of our political action committee. So the one thing, of course, that she's definitely about is to provide voter service from registration up to and including mobilization. And we got an update right before the call from Ms. Tiffany White, letting us know that they're going to be doing some drive-through voter registration. It's what between Weigh the Facts and ADOS, we will be doing that. So make sure if you have not liked our Facebook page that you do so. If you want to, while we're talking, I think someone from our team is placed in the chat room already on Facebook for you to go to our website. You can subscribe to our newsletter so you can tap in and connect with us. If you have questions about anything, we do have someone that is moderating right now, so feel free to do that. In addition to voter registration, we're going to keep ADOS members informed and empowered by providing pertinent electoral information on issues concerning our community. And when I say ADOS has done that, like I said, I met the team last November, and I would have thought they've been around longer than May of 2019. So kudos to you guys and your efforts, because people do know who ADOS Columbus is. And we're also going to suggest and lead actions to confront elected organizations and others who by word or deed put themselves in conflict with ADOS's mission. So that is a little bit about our political action committee on behalf of Ms. Lisa Freeman Williamson. You can see her amazing picture here. I am not her, but covering for her this evening. And then last but definitely not least, our last team, which is recruitment and retention, which is the chaired, or the team leader is Ms. Christy Johnson. And the goal, we want to welcome our new members, definitely want you to join and to acknowledge the debt that's owed to ADOS, us as American descendants of slavery, for our vast contributions to the development and the enrichment of the United States of America. That is what we're going to talk about, right? That's what recruitment and retention is. And the recruitment and retention team will act as a catalyst for new members to proudly embrace his or her ADOS lineage, so he or she can apply their personal efforts necessary toward group actions that serve ADOS interest. Some of those are conveyed. We're going to make sure we're going to convey the ADOS mission and vision that is clear and concise format, so the member can engage in his or her level of understanding, because this could be new for some folks. We've always been taught we're just African American. That's it. But what is that? So ADOS really helps us define who we are here in the United States. We're going to assess new member skill sets to assign appropriate group functions so that the new member can effectively participate in accomplishing the ADOS mission. As you see here, we're a team. So it's not one person, it's all of us together. And if we unite and work hard together, everyone pulls on their strengths and weaknesses to make that train go. And the last point here is to promote resources that support the ADOS mission so the new member can reinforce and evaluate advocacy for reparations and ongoing benefits specific to ADOS. All right. So now we're at the end. Hopefully you've been blessed or enjoyed talking with everyone tonight, all of our teams. You've got to meet our lovely president, our housing chair this evening, the education chair, Mr. Daoud over our news and information. So if you're one of those folks and you really want to see more about us, make sure you tune in, because if you did not hear anything else this evening, he let you know that their goal is to be the best ADOS chapter with news and information. So this is the one stop you want to be at. So if there are any questions now, definitely type those in the chat room, and I'm going to look at those on social media to see if there's any that I can answer verbally at this time. I don't know how we're looking, Lisa. So I'll take a peek and see if we have any questions. So it doesn't look like we have any questions at this moment. So I'll give it, if you do, feel free to type at any time, but since we will be just about at 40 minutes, but I want to give you the call to action. So we want you to join ADOS. It's free. You can go to our website at www.adoscolumbus.org, select the Join Today icon on our website, then you'll select the sign up link, complete that new member form, and you create a password. Once you're inside the website, we have a new members area. So our community, not only on Facebook, but on our website. So if you're not a Facebook person, that's okay. You can also check out our website. So we want you to join. It's free, just to get information and to stay connected. Then while you're there, you can go ahead at the bottom of the website. There's a subscribe to our newsletter. Again, the website is www.adoscolumbus.org. And if you have not done so yet, connect with us today. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I believe we may have an Instagram coming soon, Lisa. I don't know, but maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. Great. So we'll have Instagram coming soon. So you can follow us on all these social media platforms. YouTube, you definitely want to tune in, because as our webinars are finished through post-production, they will be uploaded there. So we've got some cool things coming, like your Vote Matters 1, your Vote Matters 2. I believe all the various teams are going to be putting together their own education, but we definitely want you to connect with us there. So say you may not want to do anything else, but you feel led to give a gift to assist us with our efforts. A lot of this comes out of our own funds. When it's time to do flyers and things, we all just chip in to make sure that the candidates that we feel best represents the ADOS community, and will ensure that we have what we need. If they're elected, that comes out of our own funds. So if you feel the need to that you would like to give a gift, you can do so at PayPal, and our information is listed here on the screen. And I believe Lisa's putting that in the chat room on Facebook as well, just in case someone wants to give. So be on the lookout for that. So if we don't have any questions, I don't see anything in the chat room. So we do want to thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure for you all to be with us. We hope you join us again. We will do another get to know ADOS moment. We'll cover some of the same information, but if you want to come back because now you thought about it and you have some questions, join us. And that will be on July 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know if Mark or Lisa would like to say anything else, but it's been a pleasure facilitating the call this evening. Hopefully you all enjoyed and got a better understanding of what ADOS means and somewhat feel connected. So I'll turn it back over to Mark and Lisa to close us out. Thank you.
So I'll go first. Thank everybody for actually tuning in. So now you can kind of get an idea about what we're about, what we stand for. I know a lot of times people read stuff online, and you get your news and information from different or different media outlets. Um, and sometimes when you're doing this type of work, you're going to get those people out there who are who are doing disinformation and misinformation campaigns. Um, Tonight you saw exactly what our team is about, what we are, what our mission is, what our vision is, what each one individual team has on their agenda. And you see that we welcome anybody that wants to help out and and join our causes. There's a lot of work to be done here in Columbus, especially throughout the Central Ohio area, as well as Ohio, the state of Ohio, and nationally. So there are chapters across the country that are doing this exact same thing, doing the exact same work that we're doing here locally, and and we just ask that if you're in Columbus and you're tired of being on the sidelines, and you you have that idea that you want to do something and you don't know what you want to do, join us, join us. We have a great team that will train you, get you up to speed. It doesn't matter if you just starting your activism, if you don't know anything about activism, and you want to get involved with us. Join a team, join one of our teams, and we will get you started. Um, so once again, I just want to say thank you all, and I see you all again on July 16th. So I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to say thank you for joining us tonight. Mark said basically everything he needed to say. If you are interested in joining us and making a change here locally, please visit adoscolumbus.org. That's where anybody that wants to be a member can join. It starts at that our webpage. At the top, you just click on member and then fill out the information. If you have questions, you can email us at info@adoscolumbus.org. Join our Facebook page, join our Twitter. Like Latoya said, Instagram is coming soon. Join us on YouTube, where you will get more information sessions like this, as well as more training on our YouTube page. So I'll send it back over to Latoya to close this out.
Oh, one more thing before you send it back to Latoya. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I just thought about this. It just came into my brain, and I this weekend is Juneteenth here throughout the nation. June 19th means so much to descendants of slaves, because that is exactly when our ancestors were given their freedom, and General Sherman gave the announcement. So we will be out throughout the city of Columbus this weekend at Juneteenth events. You will see majority of our team wearing these blue ADOS Ohio t-shirts. We have call to actions. We're going to be doing some stuff out there. So please, if you see one of us and you got information, if you want to know about us, stop us. We'll be more than happy to talk to you right there. We will have flyers with us, informatic sheets, and you can meet one of us at one of the Juneteenth events. Like I said, we'll have on these blue T-shirts. If you see ADOS across it, then it'll be us. It may be black, but if you're at one of the Juneteenth events here in Columbus this weekend, starting tomorrow, we're going to be at different Juneteenth events celebrating. He said, somebody just got a question. We got a question. How do I get a t-shirt? Where to get the apparel? Okay. Well, all you gotta do is connect with us. Connect with us offline. And if you are here in the area, we have these t-shirts. We have them in every single size from small to 4X. Just put a message on the ADOS Columbus Facebook page, and we'll get with you. If you don't live in the area and you want one, we can mail it to you. We've done that in the past. So if you want one of the t-shirts, just send us a message and with your size, and we'll get you one of these t-shirts. They do cost though. I just want to let you know they do cost, and the money goes to our activism work. So just put it out there. But they're $15 for small through XL, and they're $20 for 2X to 4X. So.
And I'm pretty sure Lisa and I will work on the website to update and probably have a merchant service site. So be on the lookout for that, for a way for us to fundraise for our activism. We will work on an online store. But in the interim, that's why you need to subscribe, guys. That's why you need to check in with us, because when we put the store up, then you'll know you can go shop, right? So anyway, but the store should be coming soon. Again, thank you for all of our presenters tonight. Thank you everyone who joined, and we hope that you stay safe, take care of yourselves, and be blessed. Have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're still live, just 1 second.
I figured.
So, yeah.